Good afternoon on the national news this hour from BGI Television, Baba Bagdede Imo TV. First, the headlines. Tinubu direct intervention to check food shortage. Opposition should point out silver bullets to Nigerians' problems, says APC. Cardozo, Edun, others appear before reps promise improved economy. OPC describes killings of Obas as insult to Yoruba race, seeks arming of Amotekun. Kaduna government blames poverty, hopelessness, others for insecurity in Northwest. On sports, Nigeria-South Africa clash in repeat of AFCON 2007. I am Morire Rabila Lawal, the news in detail. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu directed that a food intervention should be provided by the federal government to check the shortage of food in the country. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said these at the State House after a meeting of the Presidential Committee on Emergency Food Intervention convened by the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila. Mr. Idris said the government is concerned about what Nigerians are going through and is taking some steps to ensure they get some relief. The meeting had in attendance the Minister of Agriculture, Abubakar Kyari, Minister of State for Agriculture, Mustafa Sheuri, the Minister of Budget and Planning, Atiku Bagudu, the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, and the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Yemi Cardozo, among others. The ruling All Progressive Congress APC wants the opposition to go beyond criticisms and partner with the government by offering solutions to the country's biting challenges. Since President Bola Tinubu's government took over the reins in May, the cost of living has soared in the country, with inflation eating new highs. A slew of reforms, including the removal of fuel subsidy and the floating of the naira, Nigeria's currency, appear to have worsened the situation, triggering protests in some cities. While the opposition, led by the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and the Labour Party (LP), have lampooned the government over the hardships in the country, APC spokesman Felix Moka wants them to do more. Opposition should point out silver bullets in Nigeria's problems, says APC. One of the concerns we have is that opposition is not about condemning, Moka said on an interview, arguing that the PDP and LP also campaigned to overtake some of the reforms the Tinubu government is undertaking. Moka, who said the government is aware of the challenges facing Nigerians, called for patience as the administration is new. According to him, the difficulties are temporary route to getting the country working. The Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Governor Yemi Cardozo, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy Wale Edo, as well as the Minister of Budget and National Planning Atiku Bagudu, and the Chairman of the Federal Inland Service Revenue Zach Adedeji, were at the House of Representatives to speak about the state of the economy. Nigeria's inflation rate has continued to soar and the cost of living has ballooned in the recent months. But at the event in Abuja on Tuesday, the economic managers projected a brighter future. Edo believes the country's economy is in a much better state than it was when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over power in May. Where we are as a nation economically is a much better place than we were on the 29th of May 2023. We have heard from the governor of the CBN. He has talked about the importance of sustainability, Edo added. Edo also reiterated the government's promise to cushion the impact of the fuel subsidy removal, especially for the vulnerable. Likewise, there have been other benefits that have accrued as a result of the changes that we have made. However, inflation has increased, the cost of living has spiked, and right from the onset, Mr. President is committed to making sure that the poorest and the most vulnerable are not left behind. The palliatives, the interventions have been rolled out. On insecurity, the Odua People's Congress OPC, loyal to the late Frederick Fashion, has described the killing of 3 Obas in Ekiti and Kwara states as the highest insult to the Yoruba race. The group, in a statement by its president, Otuba Wasiu Afolabi, said the organization was eagerly waiting to be invited and mobilized by the Southwest governors to join the manhunt for the Monarchs killers. Afolabi said our Obas are next to God traditionally. To kill an Oba is unheard of, not to talk of killing 3 Obas within 1 week. It is the highest insult to us as Yoruba people, and these evildoers will not be allowed to go scot-free. The killers must face the full consequences of their evil, dead or alive. If criminals can get away with killing 3 royal fathers like chickens, then who is safe? Afalabi said Ekiti and Kwara state governors and the federal government should mobilize patriotic groups like OPC and Agbekoya to join the effort in making Yoruba land safe again. Trolling its weight behind a call by Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde for the creation of state police, OPC said the former security agencies were clearly overwhelmed by the widespread and nationwide cases of killing, kidnapping and abduction perpetrated by non-state actors. The governor of Kaduna State, Uba Sani, says poverty, unemployment, hopelessness and lack of education are the major reasons insecurity is festering in the northwestern part of the country. The Sani, who was a guest on the program, said that the issue of banditry and kidnapping in the northwest is different from that of insurgency in the northeast. The northwest crisis has to do with banditry and kidnapping. It is an economic problem. When you look at the situation critically, you will agree with me that most of those bandits always kidnap innocent people and ask for money, and whenever they are given money, they will release the victims in many cases, and in some cases, when there is a delay, then they end up taking the lives of those victims. And when you look at the situation, you also look at the problem of poverty, unemployment, hopelessness, and lack of education, particularly in the northwestern part of the country. That is the reason why a lot of these incidents happen, Governor Uba Sani said. Still in the north, Northern Elders Forum, NEF, and the Catholic Bishops of Ibadan Ecclesiastical Province yesterday called on the elected officials to desist from giving excuses for worsening inflation, insecurity, and economic hardship confronting Nigerians. The NEF said it was deeply concerned about the unchecked rise in inflation, saying it posed a significant threat to the well-being of Nigerians. The forum also said the cost of living had been steadily increasing, particularly in terms of food prices, leading to widespread hunger and malnutrition. NEF, in a statement by its Director of Publicity and Secretary Advocacy, Abdul Aziz Suleiman, said the situation required immediate attention and action from the government. Moving on to the next story. The intelligence response team of the Nigeria Police Force has marked a notorious bandit group in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, led by one Issa Dede. A statement issued by the force Public Relations Officer ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi said the operation, which was carried out on Monday, led to a gun battle between the officers and the killer bandits. According to the statement, the notorious Issa Dede was neutralized during the gun duel, while other members of the syndicate managed to escape with gunshot injuries. The force PRO called on the general public, particularly medical practitioners, to raise an alarm if a patient is seen with gunshot wounds. Finally, sports. Nigeria are up against bitter foes South Africa for a place in the final of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON in what is a repeat of the semi-final clash between both sides 24 years ago. The Super Eagles won that game 2-0 as co-hosts of the 2000 tournament, needing a brace from Tijani Babangida to seal a final tie with Cameroon, which they lost on penalties. But 2 decades later, Bafana Bafana are eyeing revenge against Nigeria when both sides square up on Wednesday evening today in Abidjan. Since that semi-final triumph, Nigeria have defeated South Africa in the competition. The first was a 4-0 spanking in the group stage match in 2004 edition before seeing them all 5 years ago in Egypt 2019. En route to Wednesday game, coach Hugo Bruce tutored South Africa, got out of the group stage with 4 points, but they have grown into the competition, winning tournament favorite Morocco in the round of 16 before squeezing through against Giants killers Cape Verde. For Nigeria, the story is almost similar, except that they have not lost a match in Cote d'Ivoire. Written off before kick-off, the Super Eagles reached the knockout after bagging 7 points. The later dispatched rivals Cameroon and Angola in the quarterfinal to make it to the last 4. Whereas this match adds to the long history of rivalry between South Africa and Nigeria, spanning 14 matches, the Super Eagles do, however, enjoy the lion's shares of the win. They have 7 victories against Bafana Bafana's 2. 5 of those games have ended in stalemates, though. With the sports story, we've come to the end of today's national news. Before we go, some headlines. Tinubu direct intervention to check food shortage. Opposition should point out silver bullet to Nigeria's problems, says APC. Cardozo, Edun, others appear before reps, promise improved economy. OPC described killing of Obas as total insult to Yoruba race, seeking arming of Amotekun. On sport, we brought to you South Africa, Nigeria clash in repeat of AFCON 2000. For updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Baba Bagede Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawal.
Audio Jungle.